10 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, done. 10 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, done. 10 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1. Seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, done. 10 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, done.
All right, so we have neon belly switch elbows. Things to keep in mind with the neon belly. You want to have your neon belly shin perpendicular to their body or their spine. The more parallel it is, the easier it is when they hip escape, bridge, shove that knee. It's easier for it to come off. To make the neon belly more aggressive, you take the toes off the ground on that neon belly leg. For this one, I just kept the toes on the ground because I was worried about ground and pound. You can mix elbows and hammer fists. I particularly like the neon belly leg is the one to elbow. Switch neon belly elbow. Also, you want to think about a smooth switch. So think about one knee replacing the other knee. So instead of hopping and there being a lot of gap between your knee on belly switch, make sure that you're keeping something there, keeping some pressure there to make sure it's harder for the person to be able to get up. All right, side control, hammer fists, and elbows. If you notice, I kind of switched the side control positions. We have the reverse side control and traditional. What I was looking at is when I had the reverse, I was crunched, so I wasn't losing my position there because I didn't want to be up high if they shoved me back. So I'm crunching down and hammering hard with that side. When I switched over a little bit more traditional side control and I was up higher, I could then elbow close to that side. You could also 12 to 6 there. Sometimes I was posting. Think about shoving a face down, and as the pressure goes away, the head moves into that space, and then you throw the elbow. It has more impact there. We did that on both sides. You'll find that one side feels more awkward than the other one, and that's fine. I think it's important, especially when you're in strength and conditioning, if you're going to work one side, it doesn't do a lot of harm to kind of focus on that other side as well, because you want to be capable with elbowing and positions on both sides of the body. All right, then we had our mount, elbow, and hammer fists. You can vary the elbows. Sometimes they were an elbow like this. Sometimes it was a roll over, like if I had grabbed a wrist and I was rolling over it. Sometimes I posted an elbow. Sometimes a hammer fist straight down. Sometimes it was to the side. So I'm catching somebody depending on how they're guarding and moving in that mounted position. What you want to do is make sure that obviously if you give space, there's going to be space for them to move, right? So when traditional grappling, you're trying to keep the pressure, get the submission, get the control. And so when you add striking, there's just a balance of the control versus the striking. So you just got to keep in mind, you want to have a good base, control them by pinching with your knees, having strong hips, allowing yourself to be able to strike without giving up too much balance and posture while you're doing that. Last one we did guard elbows. So basically you roll to the back, you clamp the guard up on the tombstone pad, and then now there's a variety of elbows you can throw. Hammer fists, all kinds of strikes you can throw from the bottom. I kept mine to hammer fists and elbows, but you have kind of the elbow that comes across. You have the 12 to 6 elbow. You have hammer fisting back and then forward. And people don't realize how much damage you can cause with elbows from the bottom. If you think about Kenny Florian when he fought for the title against Sean Shirk, he hit him with an elbow from the bottom that just messed him up. It was very bloody. Sean Shirk won the fight, but man, he was cut up and bleeding a ton. And that 12 to 6 elbow on the collarbone, on the neck, even on the top of the head, can give some shock that allow you maybe to be able to shrimp out, hip escape, stand up, or be able to set them up for a submission as you're throwing damage to them as they're maybe moving away from it. That's your time to throw the legs up, maybe get a triangle guard, give you a sit out to maybe feed the head for the guillotine. So that is our EMOM for ground and pound with the tombstone pad.